All right, everyone. Probably one of my favorite songs in the whole world, Top Gun anthem. Great having everybody online tonight. We'll get started here in just a minute. I have a great link of videos I found tonight, actually a great channel that I want to share with all of you that just as I was researching ultimately what I wanted to share with everybody before we got started, I found some really great stuff. So I'm going to put the chat list in the chat right there. So there is the chat list, but it's awesome to have everybody online tonight. We're going to be talking about goals and got an awesome group online tonight. I've got mine done. I spent most of the day just kind of tweaking them and looking at them and working on them, and I'm going to share my goals the way I have it formatted tonight. But you know, if you never set goals, I think that if you'll do it this year, you'll probably never not do it ever again. I mean, it's something that once you've done it once and you realize that it actually works, you'll get on it and you'll do it every year about this time. And you know, I always look forward to it because I look forward to writing a new dream statement and writing 10 new goals. Or this year it was 20 goals. Got a few more this year, but it's Tony Robbins says what we're doing is turning the invisible into the visible. When you actually write it down. So I want you to think about Celeste. What do you want to turn into the visible this year? And that's one thing that we're all capable of doing. After our session the other night, Tuesday night, on creating miracles, now that you're a miracle creator, let's see what you can do this year with your goals, and let's see what kind of miracles you can create. But honestly, before you create them, you're going to need to put them in writing. You're going to need to put them on paper, and you're going to have to transfer that energy from your brain to something physical. And the minute you make it physical in writing, your brain will seek it out, and ultimately we'll get started. So before I get going here, I want to go ahead and do the introductions and set it up to where you all can introduce yourself. Let me do a little bit of housekeeping here and lock the screen share and all those kind of things. As we always jokingly say, we just ask that you keep your clothes on because you are live on video. We would appreciate that, and that's always important. And you can turn your camera off if you need to straighten your hair, pick your nose, or whatever you got to do. Go up and get a drink, whatever you have to do. But we ask that you practice the being a professional muter after you've introduced yourself. Simply right-click on your video or touch on your phone screen, and you'll see this button that says mute yourself. And that's always a good thing, too. But I'm so excited for tonight. Wow, what a 6 months it's been. What a team we've built. It's just amazing to see your all's faces and the smiles and the energy that you all bring, not only into my house, but I hope everybody brings the energy into your house as well. And it's just fun. But tonight is a kind of a non-digital currency night. We are going to be talking about probably some digital currency goals. Some of you might have them. But I invited a bunch of friends that maybe just wanted to come learn how to set goals too. So whatever company you're involved in, we welcome you tonight and ultimately are excited about having you online with us. But I'm going to go ahead and set it up to where you all can unmute yourself and introduce yourself. Let us know where you're Zooming in from. And we had fun with that today, didn't we? But we got a lot of people on here tonight, so let's go through it quick. Just say, Hey, my name is Beverly. I'm from Santa Monica Boulevard. However you do, how you do that? But hold on one second. Let me get you so you can unmute yourselves. Go ahead. Let's rock and roll. Wait, let me turn down my volume real quick. Okay, now.
Hey
guys, Joby from London.
Hi, it's Leah from Vegas.
Kimberly from West Virginia.
John from Charleston.
Hey, Julie from Accra, Ghana.
Pete Vreeland, South Carolina.
Hi, Sherry in Illinois.
In Australia.
Lady from New Zealand.
Margie in Connecticut.
Bronx, New York.
Hey,
From Nashville.
Diego. Woohoo!
Hey, Lonnie out of Nashville.
Captain from Dallas, Texas. Yeehaw!
From Utah.
Alista from Tanzania.
Miriam from Canada.
Amber Rose from New York.
Michael Ray from San Antonio, Texas.
From Margate, Mississippi.
This is Becky and Floyd, Lake of the Pines.
Texas in the house.
We in the house.
Here's you.
All right, folks, remember, once you introduce yourself, please mute yourself. That would be great. I'm looking for you, but I can't find you.
Patrick Casey.
Santa Monica, California, USA. Hey, everybody. Happy New Year.
Patrick Casey.
hey. Hello. Hello, Julie from Accra, Ghana.
Welcome, Ghana. Now mute yourself, please.
Okay.
Dallas from the heart.
Steve, the Freedom Jedi from Michigan.
Freaking Jedi, I love it.
Hey
Welcome.
everybody, Shannon Tinney from San
Yeah.
Francisco.
No, dude.
Kim Floyd from Lake of the Pines, East Texas.
Welcome.
Crypto Mama from Perth in Western Australia. Yeah!
There we go. That must be the Texas part of Australia. I love it.
Hey, Tom, Brian here from South Carolina.
Brian, thanks for bringing me home, buddy.
Hi, it's Catherine in Boulder, Colorado.
Hey, everyone. Eric McCarron from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Tatiana from Orlando, Florida.
Tatiana. All
Hi
right.
everyone, Inaha from New Zealand.
Don't forget to mute yourself after you've introduced yourself, please.
I'm Janet Elliott from Savannah, Georgia.
Savannah, Georgia. That's the first Savannah person I've seen. Well, very good. Anybody else want to say hello?
Hi, folks. Mark Butterfield, Santa Barbara, California.
Well,
Buenas noches, Dallas, Texas.
Texas. Lamar Parker.
Nelsie, Florida.
Welcome, Nelsie. How are you doing?
Good.
So we got Dion Miller from Boiling Springs, South Carolina. We got Carol Tolan from Boiling Springs, South Carolina. We got an empire building in Boiling Springs, wherever that is. Mary Thorpe, see ya. Tal from Houston, Texas. Welcome. Great having everybody online. Going once, going twice. Anybody else want to say hello?
Yeah, John from Wild Wonderful, West Virginia.
John from wild, wonderful West Virginia. Welcome, John. Great having you online with us. And
Cal from Toronto, Canada.
Yeah, there she is. Welcome, Cal. And we're one away from
Gulf Coast there. Anthony just checking in. Yabba dabba doing from the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
There he is. Welcome, Fred. Great having you.
In Miami.
All right, everyone. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started here and get everybody muted out. And I'm going to load her up and just get started tonight. I think we've got something important to talk about in talking about goals. You know, probably the biggest quote that has affected me with goals, and I want you to really think about this one, but if you don't have goals, you're helping someone else achieve theirs. And I really want you to let that sink in for a minute, because I don't know if you were put on this earth, Mary Thorpe, to help somebody else achieve their goals, or Patrick, or Celeste, or Bridget, or Doc. I don't know if you all were put on this earth to work for somebody else and make somebody else's dreams come true. But if you weren't, I want you to think about this statement, that if you don't have goals written down, you're working to achieve somebody else's. And I've always said that no dream, no destination has always rung true in my mind. And the one goal that I want to have tonight is I want to give you all a simple way of setting goals that's very methodical and very easy to do. It does take about 2 hours. I'm talking about 2 hours out of your life for the year to invest 2 hours to give you a very, very good chance of heading in the right direction and achieving that you want to achieve. How many of y'all will invest 2 hours between now and Monday, between now and the 1st, to get this done? Now, be honest with me. How many of y'all write your goals down every single year? Okay. A lot of you don't. And that's not unusual, so I don't want to indict you or anything like that, but just know that a lot of people don't. So I'm going to give you a simple way, and what I want you to do, for those that have not written your goals, I want you to just focus on 10 goals for the year. And it'll be real easy to do, because I'm going to give you 3 of them right off the bat, and that's how many OneCoins you're going to own, how many Ethereum coins you're going to own, and how many Bitcoins you're going to own. Okay, so those are 3 goals. If you don't have any, maybe you can start right there. And then, of course, a 4th goal is how much income, extra income, do you want to earn this year, or total income that you want to earn this year. There's 4 goals, okay? So we're talking about 6 more goals is all you have to come up with, and could be new clothes, and you know, so we'll go over that first. But the importance of goal setting, folks, is scientifically proven. So I can't tell you that you shouldn't do it, because if you actually want to achieve dreams, if you've been here, if you want more out of life, if you want to, I don't know, if you just want to create a better life for yourself, you're going to have to write some goals down. And, you know, the big thing about writing goals down, the mind is an amazing thing, that if whatever you speak or whatever you ask verbally, your mind will pursue that answer whether you like it or not. And you may see it on a billboard as you're driving down the road, and your mind will go, oh, look, there's your answer. And you will have forgotten it because it was 5 years earlier. The mind is an amazing thing. Can we all agree on that? It's probably one of the most amazing things that scientists will never figure out. And I marvel in, you know, how people underestimate, you know, what the mind is capable of doing. You know, the minds of people that have wanted to create miracles and create, you know, different things, that have created cures, that have created, you know, affected millions of lives. Just mosquito nets. I mean, think about the person who invented a mosquito net and how many lives they've saved. They have no idea. But, you know, it's absolutely amazing what all of you are capable of doing. And that transmits to your goals as well. And tonight, you know, I want you to think about something that really, you know, no limits exist where no boundaries are recognized. And the question that I have for you is, where do your boundaries come from? We said the other night when we were talking about the miracle of success, and if you haven't watched that training, by the way, I've gotten an amazing amount of feedback. I'm totally humbled by the emails and the messages and just the things that you all have sent to me, and I want to thank you. But you know, give me a second. I have a big heart, and I want to do great things. You know, I want to help a lot of people. And, you know, I just have an immense amount of energy for trying to figure out how to paint a picture in your mind that will give you clarity as to what you want to do in life. I want to be the one that helps you erase the signatures on all the negative contracts that you have in your life. I want to be the one that helps you tear it up or put it in the paper shredder. I want to be the one that lets you know that, you know, anything's possible. You know, we love Zig Ziglar and everything that he talked about. If you haven't listened to Zig Ziglar tapes, as crazy as the guy sounds, everything he says makes sense. If you haven't listened to old Jim Rohn tapes, his quotes are magnificent. You know, if you haven't listened to Harv Eker and his amazing book, The Millionaire Mindset, and all the quotes that he has in that book, it's one of the greatest books in the world that I've ever read. I think the book is probably half of the book is quotes. It's one of the greatest books. If you ever want to latch onto a quote that can change your life, Harv Eker's book, The Millionaire Mindset, is probably one of the best that I've ever read. And I always laugh. I always say, you know, one of the quotes he has, and you'll see me post it occasionally, it says, what is it? Negative people are, it's not people with stinking thinking, but it was something about negative people are nothing but something like crap magnets or something like that. And it always makes me crack up because I think about that when I see people posting negative stuff, and I'm just like, I can't be around you. I don't want to be around that type of magnet. You know what I mean? I want to be around positive magnets. I want to be around Beverly Washington. I want to be around Digna Euro. I want to be around Candace Rivera. I want to be around your smiles. Miriam, always smiling. Haley Stutley, on fire, smile. You know, Joey Bowie, what an amazing comeback from a terrible accident. Somebody that just sees that anything's possible. And Alistair, and just hearing his voice, you know, just makes me happy. And I want all of you to realize and kind of see through my eyes tonight of what I get to see and what I get to hear as being the moderator. Maybe you just sit there and you look at everybody, but I look intently at all of you. And, you know, I just feel like I get your emotions, I get your desires, I get what you want to achieve out of life, and the reality, that the reason that you're here. I mean, Thomas Murren, if you saw the guy can post like a machine gun. I mean, it's like when you get a post from Tom Murren, it's like 12 happy pictures. I mean, at one time, and hey, how you doing? You know, and I just love, you know, seeing his post and everything that he brings to the table. And of course, there's Joseph in Hawaii, who's Mr. Energy and Mr. Happy, and just somebody that's got a great spirit and would, you know, the dude would hug a rattlesnake. I mean, and the rattlesnake would like it. You know, I love the guy. But, you know, I look at the spirit. I mean, Pete, I see your smile. Mark Butterfield, I hear your spirit in your voice. Michael, I hear just the stability and the solidness in your voice, and getting to meet you in Dallas was awesome. But I just, you know, I look at our family and what we have as a team, and I just say that, you know, we're all working together for one thing. I said the other night, and somebody really liked it, I said we're drafting off each other, kind of like, you know, a Tour de France. We're all kind of on bikes and we're pedaling. And, you know, some of us need to hang to the back because we need a little bit more suction to pull us towards the front and help us out a little bit. And we get that, and that's cool. Maybe you haven't been around super positive people, or people that just get really annoyed at negative people like me. You know, I'm looking for people, you know, they say there are glasses half empty people, there are glasses half full people, and then there are glasses overflowing people. I added an element to that. You know, I said, I want to be around people that are glasses overflowing people. It's kind of like, I got more than you can handle. I got more dreams. My dreams are bigger than you could ever think. I want to achieve more than you could ever imagine. And, you know, I look back at dreams and just where they came from. And I jokingly tell everybody, I think Richie Rich was my mentor. I don't know if y'all remember Richie Rich comic books, but the dude had a dog named Dollar, okay? He had a helicopter with a money blade, okay? He had you know, his like beanbag chair was a bank full of gold coins. You know, it was just kind of, it was like totally unrealistic mentorship, but then again, was it? You know, I looked at Richie Rich, and he was just a happy-go-lucky kid, and he could fix anything, and you know, money was no object, and it was just kind of like, I think that's probably, my wife and I You know, I have this quote that I've had for about 20 years, and it came from a company a long time ago that I created called the Quantum Group. And it was called "No Limits Exist Where No Boundaries Were Recognized." And I remember the day I came up with that quote, and I was just like, man, that quote resonates with me. No limits exist where no boundaries are recognized. I just don't like boundaries. You know, I just, you know, my dad put a lot of boundaries, and I like discipline. Don't get me wrong, I like discipline, but boundaries, it's kind of like when you tell me I can't do something, I'm like, you know what? You tell me I can't bench 505, I'm going to bench 505, or I'm going to get dang close to it. You know, I might get at least 75% of the way there. But, you know, I'm one of those people that just, I don't like taking no for an answer, and I'm extremely persistent, and I have a huge heart for people, and I don't know how big my heart is, but it might be bigger than Texas, yeehaw. But I really, or it could be bigger than Australia. Last time I checked, that was a pretty big place too. But yeah, Hillary's like, that'd be big. But I'm just excited to be with you tonight to share my thoughts and my dreams. And I've been thinking about this all day. I've been in the zone. I literally have not left the computer all day. I've been just researching stuff and, you know, reflecting and typing stuff as thoughts came to my mind. And I just wanted to give you my best tonight. I wanted to give you, number one, I wanted to give you a simple exercise on how to set your goals. And actually, during this presentation, you might have enough time to do it while we're talking. I may give you enough ideas, and I might even have some of you share your goals with me. So if you are willing to share a goal or two, maybe to help spur some ideas, Joby, you got your hand up, but maybe just post in chat if you have written your goals down and there's one that's important to you. No limits exist where no boundaries are recognized. Okay, I think that's an important one. But yeah, write that down and put that on the wall. And you know, I know one thing that we all have is, I mean, we know there. I don't want to say there are some. I guess there are some human limits in the world. So my wife always challenges me on that statement. But I want you to know that it's kind of like when it comes to income, when it comes to affecting people in a positive way, when it comes to changing people's lives, I don't think there should be any limits. Okay. When it comes to helping as many kids get to the school that they want to, I don't think there should be any limits. When it comes to helping feed the hungry, I don't think there should be any limits. You know, and I guess that's probably the quote is not as much. I don't know. I don't say. I don't know how to say it, but I think that the quote should be flexible enough to where you totally get what I mean. So, you know, I was looking at what was one of the other quotes I said. I said, "No dreams, no destination." But I really want you to think about that. For those that have not written your goals, I don't want you in 2017 to be building somebody else's goals. Okay, I really don't. And I'm going to do my best to convince you tonight that when you write those goals down, and I'm going to give you you know, is the big thing about reading. How many of you all read Think and Grow Rich? Raise your hand. Okay, most of you have. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, one thing that's really cool. Oh, my microphone doesn't go that far. Hold on one second. You know, one thing I did was, you know, just that book meant so much to me. I went and bought an original copy. And so I would tell all of you, if you really want to take a book and read it every year, I want to be careful of this one, but it's, you know, it's funny. I've got a picture of my most important person, one of the days I met her. So it stays in here. She didn't know that. But that's the book. That's, I don't want to call it the Bible of our household, but from a business standpoint, it's the Bible of our household. But I think it's important that when you find a book like this that's so prophetic, that's so important, that every single one of you ought to, if you ever take a time, if you're at an antique bookstore or something like that, and you find an old copy, take it and cherish it, because you know what, who I'm going to hand this down to? I'm going to hand it down to my kids, and I hope they hand it down to their kids. So this is a special book in our household, and just an amazing story of a man who went around and talked to all the most successful people in the world and said, hey, what makes you tick, and what are your secrets? And you know what, not much has changed. So if you want to think and grow rich, that would be the Bible of Think and Grow Rich right there. Okay. Or the prophetic book of Think and Grow Rich. So I when I find little things like I said the other night when we did the miracle of success, those success icons, when you see a compass or you see an old antique telescope, it doesn't have to be an expensive thing, just something that you go, you know what, that's a cool looking little telescope, I want to buy it. Or I know buying a throttle and a gas pedal is probably a little bit difficult, or buying an engine, but just things that'll help you remember the miracle concepts that we talked about last night. And if you didn't watch the Miracle of Success, it is on coinlifestyle.tv. It is uploaded there, and you all can watch it, and it is not annotated right now. So if you want to download it and share it with other people, you can do that as well. So let me go ahead and get into our lesson tonight. Just really, really excited about sharing this concept. And I want, for those that didn't hear the other night, in 2004, I was hit with an indictment, a federal indictment for 150 counts of financial fraud. And it included money laundering and just about every financial thing they could throw at me, they threw at me. And, I always jokingly say that I had more charges brought against me than Bernie Ebbers and Kenneth Lay of Enron and Jeff Skilling, and I can't remember the other one combined. Okay, it's kind of interesting to know that they wanted me that bad to do that. But I was when I was in the camp and we were doing an educate. I wanted to show you where this lesson came from that you all are learning, because it came from a very difficult time in my life. But it's significant. It's just not something I'm bringing to you because I read a book the other day. But Stephen Scott, and it's a really funny story. Stephen Scott was the author of a book called Mentored by a Millionaire. And Stephen Scott was the CEO of an infomercial company that produced the full-body gym that Christy Brinkley and Chuck Norris promoted. It was the most successful product, and he talked about the challenges that he went through as an infomercial company in the book. It's a great book. It's a great story of failure to triumph. When they met Chuck Norris and is it Cindy Brinkley? I think Brinkley. Somebody I know is Brinkley. I can't remember. Type her name in there. Let me know. But it's what's Brinkley's first name? You know, Laura? Christy Brinkley. That's it. Anyway, but it was a funny story because I read the book and I'm like, we need to build a course around this. This book is so incredible. And I want to make it part of my Miracle of Success course. And so, in federal prison, you're not supposed to have mobile phones. And it's not that we did, but we didn't, but we did, okay? And I remember there was a phone number in the book. And I'm sitting there, and it's after 8 o'clock count, which was kind of a safe time for the phones to come out. And that's when everybody kind of called their loved ones and everything like that. It was pretty funny, interesting time. And, I'm sitting there, I'm like, whatever came about me to call this guy or call that number in the book. So I called the number and I introduced myself. I said, hey, this is Tom McMurrin, and I've just finished your book and I really like it. And we're interested in using your book for a prisoner reentry program. He goes, oh, that'd be great. I'd love to meet with you. And I'm going, well, that's probably not possible right now, but it was kind of interesting. I said, well, I need to level with you. I'm actually in a federal prison camp right now, and I'm talking to you on a cell phone that I'm not supposed to be talking to you on, but let me tell you what we're doing. And I jumped into it real fast, and he just started laughing. He said, is this true? Are you being serious? I said, I'm dead serious. And so I told him the whole program, and he says, I tell you what, you send me a business plan and I'll mail you 50 books. And that just meant the world to me. And the guy actually shipped the books to us. And what was funny is like the assistant warden was like, so how did he hear about this, Tom? Why is he sending these books? How did you communicate with him? I'm like, I sent him a letter, but it was a funny story. But anyway, Stephen Scott became a great mentor of mine and a friend of mine. And his book, Mentored by a Millionaire, has got a great goal setting section in it, which I'm going to be sharing with you tonight. So I wanted to kind of tell you that story because it really does have some meaning as to where this all came from. And it made sense to me because, I've read the goal setting section in many books. Tony Robbins talks about setting goals. Of course, Jim Rohn talks about them. Zig Ziglar's got a goal setting book. Stephen Covey talked about goal setting in his books. But this one just made a lot of sense to me because I have a very methodical, mechanical mind. And when I break something down, I want it to make sense to me. And so the first thing that, we got into was writing a dream statement. And I remember reading the chapter and it was just kind of like, why don't you write a dream statement that anything's possible? Whatever you want this year, Beverly. Tell me what your life is going to look like. What's the flowers going to smell like? What's the house going to look like? How's the car going to be? It was kind of like, let's just write out something. Leilani, what's life going to look like in the next year for you? Good health, happiness, just great relationships, lots of wealth, building a bigger team, traveling the world, just anything's possible. And, there's one element that says, let's be a little bit realistic. And I'll show you a great example of that because I had set a goal to have 1,000 Bitcoins. And after looking at my income numbers and what I thought I could actually achieve based on where I am now and where I can be in another 12 months, I actually had to back that down a little bit. So I had to break it down and I had to make my numbers make sense because they didn't when I started writing all my goals down. So I want you all to know that when you specify an income goal and you specify all the things you want to buy, the things you want to buy cannot exceed what your income goal was. Okay, so that's very, very important that the numbers add up. And so, I want to share my dream statement with you because it's not as descriptive as I'd like it to be right now, but I'm actually going to actually read it to you and so you can kind of understand what a dream statement is. And this is just one page, okay? It can be handwritten, it can be typed, you can revise it a little bit, you can work on it throughout the year. Miriam says handwriting's a better idea than typing it, but at the end of the day, if you consciously type it into a keyboard, I've found that works too. So whatever works for you, okay? Handwriting is very good, and I do agree with them. A lot of the people say that writing it in handwriting is a better idea, okay? So let me do this. I want to go to my dream statement real quick and just kind of give you a feeling of what it is. Now, I'm going to go on screen share so you can see how it's a simple 3-page document is what I'm going to ask you all to create. And let me go to screen share. Where are you? There you are. Okay. And by the way, I want all of you to just kind of tear up the contracts that you have with maybe what your dad told you was possible or what your mom told you was possible. I want you to, or what your boss tells you or your friends. When you start writing goals and wanting more out of life, you will find that your surrounding friends may become uncomfortable with you. And wake up, Anthony, this is good stuff. Anyway, get a cup of coffee. Anyway, but I put up at the very top, first thing off, I told the story the other night that after fighting a massive legal battle, after 18 months of being on 23-1 lockdown, a very, very difficult time in my life, the first day that I got to see the sky was evening, and I bought a Walkman, and the first song that I turned on was by U2, A Beautiful Day by U2. And, so I said, and by the way, my alarm on my phone is that song. So every day I wake up, I hear that song. It's just something that, when I heard that song, when I saw the sky for the first time in 18 months, I don't know if you've ever thought about not seeing the sky for 18 months or, seeing the sun. But it's a crazy thing to think that you can actually endure that. But I just remember crying my eyes out when I heard that song. I mean, the minute it came on, I just sat there and cried, and it was an amazing, it's an amazing song to me. So I just said, 2000 is going to be a beautiful year, not just a beautiful day. It's going to be a beautiful year. And I'll think about that every time when I wake up in the morning with my song. So what I want to encourage you to do is maybe think about the title of your dream statement. Maybe it's a song that you resonate with. Maybe it's a Eminem song, or maybe it's a Journey song, or maybe you can pull a lyric out of something that really motivates you, and you can anchor that song to your dream statement. And maybe if you're good enough to figure out how to make your ringtone that song when you wake up in the morning, I think it would be a really great idea for all of you to do that. If you don't know how to do that, don't worry about it. It's not important. I think that's taking it to another level that will affect your life in a very positive way.